So I started getting a few leaks around my zipper. And if you notice, this is all taped seams. They're not glued, they're just taped. Tape holds up pretty well, but it can start coming loose, and once it does, you get these kind of spots. Water will come in through there. And then you can see where I've done a couple of quick field repairs, and that got me through the day, but then it starts leaking in other places. So I'm gonna show you the right way to fix this. It's a little bit more time involved, but it'll fix it correctly. So I actually started peeling this up before I thought about taking the video, but I'm peeling up all the tape. So I've got these actual exposed stitchings here. And this just takes a little bit of time coming through. You can use a heat gun and get this tape up a lot more readily. I'm gonna do it the long, slow way in this case because I wanna protect the other seams. I'm only planning on replacing this one seam with some aqua seal. So let me finish tearing up all this, both sides, and then I'll get back with you with the next step. So I have torn up some of that tape, and you can see where I've exposed the stitching here all the way down through. Now I could take some time and clean this up even a little bit more just to make it prettier, but I'm not too concerned about that. So I'm going to clean off these stitches now. So I've got some isopropyl alcohol, and I'm just gonna make sure that there's no dust or anything under there. It shouldn't be too dirty because it's been underneath the tape and fairly protected, but even in the process of cleaning it up, I've gotten oils and dust and stuff on it. So I'm gonna go around and clean that all the way around, and we'll move on from there. So now we get to the part where we got to think about what we're going to use to seal it. So aqua seal works super well for this kind of thing. One thing you do have to keep in mind is with the aqua seal, it doesn't stick very well to more of a rubbery material, which the outside of this zipper part has that. It doesn't like silicones and rubbers. It's really good for neoprene and fabrics. But you'll see a lot of times when they sell this, it'll come with Kotol, which helps to speed up the drying, but it also thins it out so it can kind of dig deeper into those fibers of whatever it's sticking into and create a little bit better bond. Several years ago, I got a professional tip that if you add in a little bit of mech with your aqua seal, mix it up as like a 1-part mech, 4 parts aqua seal, something along those lines. I'm going to kind of eyeball it today, but that thins it out really well and gets you not only a faster curing time, but a significantly stronger bond into some of these slicker materials. The other things I'm going to be using is just a simple disposable cup like this, so I can mix up the seal in this and then throw it away when I'm done. And you can get these little cheap paint brushes for, you know, kids' arts and that kind of thing. You can get these for, you know, $1 for a pack of 20 kind of a deal. It's super inexpensive, and I just use these. I'll use it for one application and then throw it away, and then once that's cured and I'm going for the next coat, I just grab a new one. It's super nice and simple. So from here, let's go ahead, and this is a brand new aqua seal, so I'm gonna have to open this up. Got to poke my little hole in there, which I might even be able to do with the back side of this. There we go. Got my hole, and put this down in the cup. I don't want to have to do way too much of this at a time, so I'm going to put some of this in, enough that I think I can kind of cover this area with one good coat, and then kind of leave that be for a few hours, and then come back and do another coat and the other portions. So there, I've got a little bit of aqua seal in it. And now we're going to splash just a little bit of mech in there as well. Again, I'm kind of eyeballing it. A 1-to-4 ratio is what I've been told before. I'm just going to put enough in there to kind of thin it out. Not very scientific at all. There we go. And then let's stir that up. So you'll see it starts out, it doesn't want to stir real well. But then in a short period of time, it starts to get a lot more slimy and easy to move that around. And that's what we're looking for. We want it to be less of a thick putty consistency and more of that thin gooey consistency. And that'll really break it down into some of those spots. Make sure your temperatures are right. This time of year where I'm at, it's 20 degrees Fahrenheit outside, and it's going to get a lot colder as the year goes on. So if you're trying to do this in your garage or something, this isn't going to want to cure right. So I do this in the living room. Might have to buy your wife a nice dinner so that she's not upset at you for the smell. But so there we go. Got that mixed up. And then the application is super straightforward. I'm going to find the starting point. Make sure we can see this on the camera. And I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of this on. I don't need big, thick layers. I'm going to do this in multiple coats. You never want to do just one coat of Aquaseal. That might be for a field fix just to get you through an hour. But for a good proper fix, we're going to get this. Try to actually kind of work it into the seams and up underneath of those little crevices there, because this is really the coat that matters for getting into those tight spaces. The next couple coats are just strengthening, not really getting into other places. So we got that. We're just going to keep on moving around with this. So I won't bore you guys with the details of going through each inch as I go, but I'm going to finish going around, and then we'll get the camera back out once we're ready to kind of inspect this and go on to the next coat. So I've got a couple of coats on here now, and I've got it set up. I've got a little bit of a curvature to it so that I can cover all of this in one go on this last one. And here's the secret though. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this all on, get my final coat, try to get it nice and evenly distributed, and then I'm gonna show you real quick what I do to make it not so tacky, because right now everything I've already done has that real like sticky rubber kind of a feel to it, and we don't want that if we're trying to slip in and out of this suit nice and easily. I take a little bit of baby powder. I'm gonna get something like a, don't worry, this is clean, something like a sock or a rag, and I'm gonna powder this. And I just want to make sure this is on here good. There we go. And then this here, I just put the final coat on, and it's fairly thin coat. It's just there to make it all even a little bit tackier and fresh. And then I'm just gonna come along and I'm just gonna, like I'm cleaning out a chalkboard. This is gonna make everything dusty, so make sure you're ventilated and ready for it. But just go like that. Just a real light coating of that powder. You don't wanna put the powder directly on it or you get these big old globs of it. But if you put it on a rag and then just kind of pat that rag real close to it, get it all in the air, let it just kind of settle onto it. What this is gonna do is it's gonna get into that outer layer, and then as that dries, it'll stay there, and then I can wipe away anything else that's not on the glue, and what's left is going to give me that nice, slick, smooth surface that's easy to slide right over top of the undergarments that I'm wearing rather than getting all pasty and sticky to them. So I didn't really get any video to finish up on this particular segment of fixing the dry suit, but this other video segment is shortly after that fix, 1 or 2 dives later, and you can see that as I'm getting out of the suit, my undergarments are dry, so it did work. You can pretty that up with tape, but just having that little bit of powder on it and everything, that makes it a good durable finish. So thank you guys for watching. You have a great day.